Hello, everyone. I'm going to be talking about how to conversate with people. Mainly, this is going to be on how to start and continue a conversation with someone that you already know. And afterwards, I'm going to give tips on how to find ways on starting a conversation with people that you don't know. Now, starting off with people that you do know. Let's say conversation's getting stale, you don't know what to talk about, you're running out of ideas. Well, some of the most basic bare bones ideas can spark up great conversations. One of them being about how was your day? Not only just your day, but your friend's day. Start by asking them if anything crazy happened at work, at their school, on just day to day life. Maybe they discovered something new or any sort of question that works in their favor. If none of that is available, then I recommend starting with your stuff. What did you do today? Mention something that you have done throughout your day to day and see if maybe that can spark up a conversation. If not, then the best thing to start off with is interest. If you have similar interests with this friend, make sure to bring it up. Showing that you're passionate about a topic that someone else is interested in will be very quick to start up a conversation with someone. If, let's say, this type of person is not into that or into the things that you enjoy, find something that they are into, whether it be a movie or a series, a franchise, music, anything, and try to find something within a couple of minutes and then say, hey, I heard this new song. I really enjoyed it and I think it's just your type of taste. And then tell them to watch it. And now this may not come in handy immediately, but it will help for future conversations. So maybe the next day or in a few hours, when they come and tell you, hey, I really enjoyed that. Keep on recommending me things. Or if not, that sparks a whole nother conversation if they did not enjoy it. But we're not trying to worry about starting a conversation in the future, we're worrying about now. Now, depending on the type of person you are, if you are very extroverted, it will be much easier for you to think of a conversation. Mainly, you would probably want to go outside, or wanting to hang out with this person in real life. And if that is the case, it is much more easier to start a conversation than it would be on a phone call, or a text message, or anything of those sorts. Remember, playing to the bells and whistles of your friends will be the easiest way to start and to finish this conversation. Find something that they like and try to talk about it. Maybe even start a debate. Now, it may not be a fun conversation depending on the type of person this is, but it will bring up something that can stop the silence. Something that really helps is what if scenarios. Mainly in the case of if you had to choose a superpower, what would it be? Something super simple, but you could get more elaborate. Like, if two pieces of food items had to fight, which one do you think would win? A burger or a pizza? You see, that is very weird and very confusing, but depending on your type of friends, would be would be weird but intriguing enough to actually engage in the conversation and to go along with it. With the idea of a burger, burgers are tanky, while compared to a pizza, pizza is usually tall. So it comes down to something like a beefy. It doesn't. You know, I don't. I'm not even gonna get started. And you just saw how that was a good example, where if you have something like a what if scenario, is very good at starting a conversation because it gets both of you thinking, not only of your own answer, but your friend's answer, and maybe you can even make a game out of it. Whether you go ahead and ask a what if question, and you have to guess your friend's question, and they have to guess yours. So that makes it more of a game instead of an active thinking conversation. And maybe afterwards you can go and explain your reasons and maybe try to convince each other of these reasons. Of course, I cannot sit here and give you infinite examples because that will take an infinite amount of time, and quite frankly would be pointless. And in some cases, starting up a good conversation mainly happens when starting up a good action, where you go ahead and hang out with this friend and do something physical, like playing a game with them, or cooking with them, or doing anything that does more than just sitting and speaking. Because in that case, you will have much more to talk about because of your current actions. Whether it be strategizing on this newfound activity, or just in general, going on this trip and seeing things that think of future stuff. Now I think I've given up enough examples on what to talk about with friends. What about new folks? Now I think the best way to do this is to try to look at the type of person you are wanting to talk to. In a lot of cases, they will have graphics on their shirt, unlike me. You can go and ask to yourself, what do they enjoy? Well, maybe on their shirt they'll have a metal band, while on their book bag they'll have a video game graphic. There will be many details that are usually lingering on the person's body, maybe tattoos, maybe a certain hairstyle, or something that maybe that you could think the name of. And this would be perfect to walk up to someone. Whether it be as simple as starting with a compliment. While compliments can be one off, it may not be the best strategy to give a compliment, but if you're wanting a quick conversation, it could be possible, if you're smooth with it. If not, I would recommend sticking to graphics on their shirts, or something maybe on a headband, or a hat, or a book bag, or any other object that's around them. Once you have a good idea of their taste, you can walk up to this person and ask them a question. Usually, if it's something similar to your taste, it will make it much, much easier. If not, you may have a hard time, but you can still go up and say, hey, do you like that band that's on your shirt? And if they say yes, then of course you can start talking about it. Maybe you can even get new recommendation, and maybe they'll be super intrigued to talk about this. If not, then they may give you a funny story about how this shirt was a hand-me-down from them, and boom, you have now started a conversation with someone. And once they are able to freely express a conversation, you are able to conversate as well. But what if they don't have a graphic on their shirt? What if they have no defining details like me? I have no defining details. What if you wanted to walk up to a person like me and ask questions? I think the easiest way would you have a question ready. Now, in some cases, this may be considered deceptive, but let's say if you really wanted to talk to this person, you can walk up to them with a question. Where are the bathrooms? Hey, do you know the surrounding area? Do you know a good place to eat? And of course, if they say no, then that might be a bit of a problem. But if they do say yes, now they might be nice enough to walk you to this location if they have the time. If not, then that might be a problem because you're still trying to look for that. But it is an idea depending if they're nice enough to walk with you. And then once that happens, a conversation will very surely continue on. But this is a great example of showing how conversating can be hard. For some folks, it is a lot easier and comes much more naturally. And for people like me, come much more difficult. But there is always a way to conversate with someone that you want to talk to. So, I hope these tips work, because if not, well, I believe that no matter what, you'll be able to start a conversation with people. And when it comes down to it, maybe you can try to make yourself more appealing to talk to. Try to be more extroverted, or maybe even be nearby this person. Have these graphics on and that show the type of person that you are, that maybe that might give them the confidence to talk to you first. But in most cases, it's easier to talk to someone when you're in the right environment and scenario to where you're able to be more open with the folks around you. Now, as the sun sets, I'm going to end this video here. I hope these tips helped, and when it comes down to it, I hope you really, really enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas on tips that you would like to share in the comments, absolutely do so. If not, then I hope what I have said will be of some use, and if not, I hope you enjoyed my presence. Now, bye-bye.